Hi everybody, this is Gail from Plain Jane Back to Basics. That's my Etsy shop, and I've been crafting for, gosh, well over 20 years. I won't say exactly how old I am, but well over 20 years. And I think that it's very therapeutic, and especially in this day and age, we all need to keep learning something, so this is what I have taught myself. So I've gotten a couple of requests to show how I use alcohol inks to do my fire tumblers. So as you see, I've got a yellow tumbler here. I've already put on my resin, and I do use Amazing Clear Cast Part A and Part B. I like it. It's 1-in-1 configuration. I just recently got the bigger gallon size to use the pumps. Haven't used them just yet. Once I get done with these bottles, then I'll start using them. With the rotation of the cup, you may or may not have noticed that there used to be a design on this. This was a sublimation tumbler for 20-ounce skinnies, and I boo-booed and I misspelled somebody's name. So I spray painted over it. Well, first you have to sand it down, and then I spray painted over it, but for some reason the darker colors still come through. But that's okay. Once we put on the alcohol ink, it's not going to show. Usually I use these on glitter tumblers underneath, so it's kind of a two-for video right now. It's going to show you what to do when you have those mistakes that you can't fix, but you can do it for a different product. So for alcohol inks, because I've just recently got into this, I've kind of like got a mismatch. I've got several different varieties. I've got Sigwong, and you can see the orange one right there. And then I also have, Alcohol Ink by Ranger. So I've got the two different varieties that we're going to be using. Now what I'm going to do is show you a thing of color. So what I do is I kind of take a drop of my alcohol ink so I can kind of see what the color is going to look like. Now mind you, this isn't going to be what it's going to show on the tumbler as well, but this is actually saying that it's a yellow, and that's a yellow, and that's my orange. These are my three different reds that I have. This is just red. And then this is called teakwood. It's a brown. I'm not going to use black on here to kind of act as the borderline of the smoke and the darkness of the flames. So this is what we're going to use. We're going to try to use all of these here. Now alcohol inks are very messy. They splash, they'll get on you, but they can also clean up very well, at least off of your hands, so you want to use alcohol. So that's what I do. So I'm just going to take this orange and I'm going to drop. There's no rhyme, there's no reason. You just put it on where you want it to be. Don't forget to get on the bottom. Now I'm going to take some red. This one is red pepper. You want the colors to kind of blend, so don't be afraid to let them go ahead and blend. Again, don't forget your bottoms. Next one I'm going to use is known as Crimson. More of a blood red. Now this is the lemon yellow. And then this is just regular yellow. That was that first one. Kind of looked more orangey. You can kind of see some of the colors are blending together. They're starting to show that blending. Now this is the teak wood. This one here, along with black, because it's the fire, you want to be careful and not let it go overboard, because then it will become too dark and you won't get to see the swirling of the flames. And you can tell it leaks on that one, so I've got to do something about that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back with my red. I like the crimson one, and I'm going to go in the center of the brown. Now I'm going to go back. I'm going to try to hit all the, I call it the white areas, but it was actually that yellow paint. Just make sure I've got it all covered. Now I got a dry spot right here, but we can fix that later. All right, so now this is where the magic happens. Let me get this all out of my way. So I've got a little cotter pin holding my arm on. I'm going to pull that. All right, so now I'm going to take the arm off the turner. And I'm going to hold it at various different angles to get movement, to get that to move around. But you don't want to hold it too long at different angles because you don't want it to drop off. If you don't see movement, then you'll have to get your little heat gun out, and that will help thin down your resin so that you do get some movement. You can see, like right here, what it's doing. So I've got my heat gun. I'm going to turn it on low, and I'm going to start hitting this a little bit. You want to keep it away from it. You don't want to burn your resin. You start to see it moving a little bit right there. Okay, so now we're going to try to fix this dry spot. I got one here, and I've got one here. It's probably way too much. But managed to get a lot more. All right, now we want to go back and hit some more alcohol. And you want to try to hold it at different angles besides to the sides, because you don't want it to just do strings around and around and around. You want to try to get those swirls. It's my first time videotaping one of these, so I kind of am hoping that you can see what I'm doing. You just want to be mindful that you don't let it drip off, because you need all that on there. I'm gonna get some drips. I usually get so one side really, really nice, and then the other side kind of like, oh well. We'll see how this one comes out. It's looking good. As it cools down the resin again, it will slow down the movement. One thing I've noticed is you just got to do it. Even though we get it to a certain point by doing this, when it goes on the turner again and it spins around, there's still some settling that's going to be done, and it could look completely different. Okay, I'm starting to see the movement is slowing down, so I'm going to be able to put it back on the turner here in a little bit. Let's see if I can get that to bust up some. Okay, I don't think I can get it any better, so we're going to go ahead and very carefully put it back. I have a big bead of resin at the top, so I'm going to tilt it now to see if I can get that bead to go down so it won't be there at the lip of the cup. Okay, well, I hope you got to see what I was doing. I'll play this back before I, of course, upload it, and then we'll go from there. If I have to, I'll be doing more fire tumblers. I'll do a different one, but let's see how this one works, and thank you for watching. Again, Gail from Plain Jane Back to Basics. That's my Etsy shop. And you can also reach me, Gail Jones, on Facebook. Bye, everybody. Thank you.